Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
We are thrilled to have here with us one of Canada's top freestyle skiers on the panel today. She's Canada's chef de mission for the Milan Cortina Olympics and an Olympic gold and silver medalist herself. Jennifer Heil joins us. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you. So good to be here.
I was saying to you that I was co-hosting the Olympics when you did your mogul magic. So this is 15 years later.
It's a nice reunion.
It's a nice reunion. And you look the exact same,
oh, well,
girl.
Thank you.
We're all there. Okay, let's kick this off, everybody. It just came out this week that Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren Sanchez are now the primary donors for the next Met Gala. Aha! The couple is going to be involved behind the scenes, well, a little bit behind the scenes, a little in front of the scenes too. This will be the first time that the Met Gala is going down since Anna Wintour stepped down from her role as Vogue's editor-in-chief. A lot of backlash to the Bezoses, is that how you say them? The Bezoses having a hand in this iconic event. So, Jennifer, does this tarnish the reputation of the Met Gala?
Great question. So, first of all, I love the Met Gala. I watch it every year. I'm on the stream. Definitely fashion's biggest night. Look, I'm from the world of sport and art rely on sponsorship. They rely on philanthropy. None of this can get done without that. So I think it's really important that we call that out. I'm also from the world of tech. And so I'm a tech CEO and founder. And I think it's important for people to give back where they care, where they can have impact. I'm building in women's health. I hope to be able to give back and have impact in that space. So I think all of that's really important.
So you see that as like Bezos is that's
positive.
That's a positive thing. Like
Well,
he's going in.
We don't really know yet, right? So if this is a philanthropic donation, we all, like, the arts and culture need that. But I think it's really important that we do question where the money comes from, what the intent is. I don't think one individual or family should have too much influence or undue influence on an entire institution. So,
Interesting. That was a lovely answer. I feel very differently. I think the Met Gala is over. And I'm not just talking about the party, I'm talking about this era. And I know there are gonna be people who are watching who really don't care about Anna Wintour or Vogue or the fashion industry, but if you do, you know that this changing of the guard is not what we really wanted, and I'll explain why. There's a young woman named Chloe Mao. This was supposed to be, she's the new editor-in-chief of Vogue, by the way. This is her first Met Gala. This is a big deal for her. You're following in the footsteps of Anna Wintour. I was looking forward to seeing her fresh ideas, what she was gonna do, but instead, all the headlines are about the donors, Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos. And according to People magazine, they're not gonna have a little bit of a say-so. They're gonna have, according to People magazine, sizable roles behind the scenes of the 2026 Met Gala. So that means for Chloe, who's waited a very long time and worked really, really hard, she's not gonna get her vision seen. It's gonna be, let's be real, it's Lauren. Jeff doesn't really care.
Wait a minute.
Jeff is the head, Jeff is the head, Lauren is the neck. She's deciding what direction. And no one can convince me otherwise, and I feel horrible for Chloe and for the industry because you want someone you're gonna take over. We appreciate the money and that's fine, but for you also to have say-so when you don't have the experience and the know-how and the connections to all the designers, makeup artists, photographers, when you don't know those people, but you just want the cultural cachet to say that, yeah, we're gonna invite our friends. I feel like this new era of billionaires, this new era of billionaires are not like the billionaires that we grew up with, like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, who are like, listen, I got the money and I'll donate, but I know my lane. I'm gonna do what I do best and let you do what you do best. We're seeing a shift that I'm frankly not a fan of.
Okay, so I had a bunch of points in there, but I'll just try to consolidate, which is that I had the same reaction yesterday when I heard about this, and I think that also people who make headlines knew that we would have that reaction. That's why they made it a headline, because it makes people angry. So that's, I think when you dive a bit deeper, I'm at least hopeful that there's no way you can ruin the Met Gala in 1 year. I'm hopeful that that is the case. They've had a long-standing history. So you have to remember that even though they are the primary donors, there are also secondary ones. Condé Nast and Saint Laurent Plus, Anna is still involved, Anna Wintour, of course. And I just feel like maybe they also, when you think about it this way, Condé Nast, which of course is this massive publishing arm that publishes Vogue, among other things, and has long been known as sort of a taste-making entity. The fact that Jeff Bezos, he could just buy it outright and give it as a gift to his wife, right? He's not done that. And I think maybe, I think maybe that speaks to a bit of self-awareness that they don't actually have the kind of like street cred, all the things you were just talking about. There's maybe a piece of them that knows that would be an extraordinarily tacky move. So I'm assuming that they're coming on
You think that Lauren Sanchez knows the difference between tacky and not tacky?
I don't know. Yeah. I know we're running out of time here, but I think the thing that bothers me the most about this is that the reason why we're seeing their name everywhere, the headlines, is because they bought it. I think we're in a different era of the billionaire. We're even in an era where we're talking about the first trillionaire. This is not money that we have ever seen before. We are seeing money do things that we have never, ever seen it done culturally. So while we do need the philanthropist, to me, there's a difference between the silent millionaire who knows their stuff and lets people do their thing. But now you are in the era of the billionaire who also wants to be famous. They don't just want the money, they also want the fame. My concern is billionaires are now buying their way into everything.
Well, that's a good point.
And why that concerns me as a consumer is he already owns so much of the world. If it's not just Amazon, it's the Washington Post.
Yeah, Washington Post.
Washington Post. Yep. It is Prime Video. It is now the Met Gala. What's he going to do next? Buy the Louvre Museum in Paris?
Don't give him any ideas, Melissa.
Maybe not. My concern is consolidation of power in one or two hands.
It's a good point.
And I think that is the beginning of the end of culture and art.
Well, we'll have to see. If we start streaming it and we see like brought to you by Amazon or people picking up their costumes in Amazon boxes, then we'll know it's over. It's over.
Brace yourself.
Okay, let's switch gears. What is the best time of day to sit down for a holiday meal? That's a question. So Martha Stewart told the Today Show, people have opinions.
Okay.
Listen, Martha Stewart told the Today Show that Thanksgiving dinner should be served at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Do we agree or disagree?
Okay, this is interesting because I have one woman who's like, yes, for 2 o'clock, I got a 5, I got a 6, what do I got over here? I got a 4 o'clock. Here's the deal, regardless, it depends on what your situation is, because if you perhaps have a lot more elderly people in your family, you may want to eat earlier. Or if you have a lot of young people in your family, maybe it's easier because bedtime and bath time, you guys, parents do all that stuff. My issue is calling it dinner at 2 o'clock. Because if dinner's at 2, what are we calling the 6 o'clock? That's dinner 2.0? Like, just call it the Thanksgiving meal. It's easier to serve at 2 o'clock, because it's not dinner. We are not all going into the geriatrics of like, it's 2 o'clock dinner now. No, it's not.
Well,
it's a 2 o'clock meal.
You actually hit it on the head, because I think the reason why she called 2 p.m. dinner is because Martha's bedtime is probably 8 o'clock.
I'm just saying, don't mess with Martha. Martha is the queen, and she's onto something here. Earlier big meals matter this is the athlete speaking, and the nutrition side. You have less insulin spike. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna have less craving. Okay, let's make it 3:30 or 4.
Okay, let's do 4. Okay, that's a good compromise. I like that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, don't mess with Martha. She's onto something.
I just think our family does all the holidays, Christmas, Easter, around 4 p.m. because we know we're actually having 2 dinners. We all know this, right? So you're gonna have your first meal because everyone's starving. You've had a big breakfast, you probably skip lunch, you eat at 4, and then you're nibbling all night long.
You're eating twice?
Yeah.
I'm coming to your house.
Yeah.
Have I missed something?
You do the big one together at like 4, but then the food is out and everyone continues to eat. And to your point, I think that's also great for our insulin.
Yeah.
I think. Because you're not gonna have a big meal, boom, at 8 o'clock. 2 o'clock is lunch in Spain. Let's be honest. So please, I agree, don't call it dinner.
It's not dinner. It's a meal. It's a meal.
Okay. Jen, we talked about the Olympics off the top, but your responsibility now as the chef de mission, and say it correctly, friends, the chef de mission, what exactly do you do as the chef de mission for the Winter Games?
Yeah, you can call me chef for short, that's okay. So my role really is team leader of the athletes, of the mission staff. So I have a few different roles. One is supporting the athletes, mentoring them. I've been through it with the Olympics. I've been rookie, I've been favorite to win. I've competed in Italy. Every Olympics has its own environment and its own flavor. So we're gonna have great flavors in Italy, but there's also some behind the scenes that are challenging for the athletes. So I'm helping them navigate through those and just create a positive environment. Athletes, they're ready, but they bring a lot of pressure, a lot of stress to those moments. So we're trying to clear the pathway so they can have the best performance. And yeah, I can tell you that they're looking great. We have such a strong team. Yesterday, we got to put officially the Canadian maple leaf on our back with the Lululemon kit unveil. Yeah. And honestly, I still remember that moment like it was yesterday. Like, to be able to represent your country, to wear that maple leaf, to, you know, give back to a country that's made you. It's just such a moment for the athletes. So they're riding high right now.
Oh, well,
Lovely.
thanks for stopping by and good luck.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
All right, you know we're going to be cheering them on for sure. So a big excitement coming up in the new year.
Now let's dive into the headlines everybody's talking about. After months of pushback, the U.S. House and Senate approved a bill to publicly release all the files the Justice Department has on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. After initially urging his supporters to dismiss calls for the release as a hoax, U.S. President Donald Trump said he will sign the bill into law. So, is this a win for the Epstein victims? That is the question we are asking.
Yeah.
Who wants to dive in first?
Yeah, I would say sadly, it is a win. Not sadly, it's a win. It is a win because sadly the bar is so low for any justice for the victims of sex trafficking and sexual violence. So why is that a win? I think there's several reasons. Number one, you got the most powerful man on the planet who's been calling this a hoax for months to actually reverse course. That is a massive
Except,
win.
Can I just pause? I agree with you, but he could release the documents right today.
Sure.
And he has it.
A win is a win,
Okay,
whatever
all right,
way we get
okay,
there.
okay.
The other thing is, this is so validating for the victims, of which there are hundreds, if not more, who have constantly been trying to just get their voice heard and believed. Victims are never believed. So why is this a win? Not because we have anything in court happening yet, but because people are finally saying, we believe you. That is a win for a victim who says this. The other part here is, there is also momentum. This bill is called the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The whole idea here is not just for the victims, it is for transparency. And why do we need transparency? Up until this point, the U.S. government has been deciding internally, nah, nothing to see here, folks. We're not going to release them. They've been getting to be the arbiters of justice. When you release all of these files publicly, it is now up for the public to see and make people accountable for their bad behavior. And last but not least, I can't tell you the last time that we can say in the United States of America that you had any bipartisanship. They have been fighting as Republicans and Democrats on everything. The sky is blue. No, the sky is purple. No, the sky is red. They fight on everything. You had every single person except one vote in favor of this act. That is a win for these victims.
I hear you.
See, and it's interesting that you say that because of the months of pushback and trying to call it a hoax and trying to distract people, I find it very suspicious, or as my mother would say, though something in the water's not clean, that all of a sudden everybody's on board and now we're signing, now everybody's okay with it. I feel like Donald Trump spoke to his lawyer and they found a loophole around this, and I have a hard time believing, and I hate saying it, but I have a hard time believing that this is gonna lead to something great for the victims. And if you're questioning it, give me the name of 3 victims. You can't name them, but you know all the men who are involved or who are speculated to be in those files, and I think that's the problem. And I actually want to take the time to talk to the U.S. media. I know you are inundated with a lot of Trump stuff, but take the time to remember who this is about. This is about the women. This is about the people, the victims, and I'm not hearing enough when I see your coverage. That's something I just needed to say.
I think that's so important.
We're hearing about these men every day, and I'm not hearing about the women. Even the clip of the women celebrating was like 5 seconds long. But people need to remember, now this has to go to the Department of Justice, and keep this in mind. The Department of Justice is stacked with Donald Trump supporters. So as much as you think you're gonna get transparency, he put those people in place for a reason. And there's still an open investigation, and it's still gonna take some time, and they can't touch on certain names. So I have a feeling that at the end of this, the victims are, sadly, I hate to say this, are not gonna get the win that they think they're gonna get. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm kind of in both minds. Like, I don't think it's a win for the survivors. I think only way it's really, truly going to be a win if Trump and any of the other men who are named in doing all of these horrifying things are actually held accountable. Like, that will be the win. We see many of the people who are named in jail admitting blah, blah, blah. I also agree with you. I don't like the fact that, and I'll call myself out. We know more about little clips of these emails, things like we're analyzing who is Bubba, what about this photo? Like we've been thinking and talking and trying to dissect all of these emails. And in that conversation, the victims have been lost. And I've been reading some of the testimonies of victims, like Anuska de Georgiou, who told the court, loss of innocence, trust, and joy is not recoverable. So in that way, it doesn't sound like a win. Also, Tiela Davies, who testified, I'm still a victim because I'm fearful for my daughters and everyone's daughters. And in this world where there are predators in power, in a world where people can avoid justice if their pockets run deep enough. And I think that that's the world that we're living in.
But this is why I know that we're not hearing a lot of the victims' names. A lot of the victims who have not come forward publicly don't want to be named publicly. They're being re-traumatized. They don't want their names out there because they don't want to relive the horror. So I think there is a reason to protect victims, but I do want to know all the names.
Yeah.
Because when you say, what is justice? Yes, justice is getting all of these horrifically rich, perverted men who've been accused of all of these terrible things, get them into jail. Let's be honest, right? But what the real justice is telling men in positions of power, you cannot do this.
It was only so easy.
Yes, but my point
is,
it sounds impossible. It sounds impossible until you actually nail some of these guys in court to say, people are watching you. And so that is, for me, as the mother of a daughter, I am terrified. But you know what's going to get justice? Put their names out and put them to trial.
Yeah. And also get them to remember they are the fathers of daughters.
Correct. Yeah. So to be continued.
Yeah, we'll
I feel like this is not over.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.